Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to be reviewing or going over some of the details as to what I found out about CrowdStrike and how interesting that is. Now, I'm not going to lie, there's plenty of ways to extract data from an organization, especially if you're an insider. And sometimes for legitimate reasons, right? You just want to have the work with you, and sometimes it's a very bad practice. And how does organizations prevent that from happening? You can have all the best DLP tools out there, but if you have someone with their personal phone taking pictures of the screen, how are you going to prevent that, right? Although I think there's going to be a new technology when the screen actually detects that there's a camera facing it. Now that's crazy. Anyone who invents that is probably going to be stupid rich as far as being like next companies buying monitors would be like, well, we need this technology. They can't face a camera to a screen, which is, I think I just invented something there. Whoever's working on it, I wish you the best of luck. I wish I could have that type of knowledge to get to that point. But let's get into this a little deeper. Now, of course, this is going to end up being my thumbnail because I gotten really lazy with creating innovative thumbnail. Like you can see a lot of my videos are just like, straight from the video itself. There's no particular expression. Maybe just this one. All right, I'll smile. But anyway, let's go a little deeper. So what I found out now, you probably have heard about this whole insider thing with CrowdStrike and this person working there leaked some sensitive information within CrowdStrike. They had access to a dashboard or something like that. But there's this one article that I found that how much it was paid, supposedly claiming to pay this individual who was working insider as a working insider at CrowdStrike, but they have since let go up to $25,000. That is great for a few pictures on your phone, isn't it? It's almost like a social media posting on Instagram, making money from views and hits, right? But this supposedly scattered LAPSUS hunters group reportedly claimed paying this individual $25,000. Now, how much data, how much screenshots, I have no idea. I don't think that was mentioned anywhere. I believe, and I was trying to go through the whole thing. I did look up the LAPSUS hunters group, scattered LAPSUS hunters group, trying to figure out where they're from. I did not see any of the regional, unless they're global, which is probably most cases, but usually even global threat hunters or potential threats are identified by a particular region, which I do not see for this one unless I'm missing it. Like I glanced over it. I'm going over the details here. And of course, does that play a significance in whoever's doing this as far as if it was a particular region? I would say probably not, because I think everyone is a threat at this point, anywhere and anywhere across the world. So I see something really interesting here. I'm going to expand a little bit. It's right here. Post frequently accused Chinese state actors of exploiting vulnerabilities, alleged target by SLH, which is this group that was dealing with CrowdStrike, while mocking Western law enforcement, particularly the FBI and NCA. This focus on US and UK agencies evidently signals which jurisdictions are at greatest risk and highlights the attention SLH members pay to these authorities. That doesn't really tell me much either. But as far as laughing stocks are concerned, where the federal government has laid off a good amount of people who have the skills and knowledge to protect, in these situations. But how do you protect someone from an insider, spreading information that they have access to? Very, very difficult. Like I said, it's very difficult. So what do we have? Who do we have? How can you prevent this? How does this affect everything else going forward? Now, we have to sit back and kind of think, why would anyone insider want to do this? Is it just really for money? If that is the case, I did find a really interesting post not too long ago. about CrowdStrike. So I was doing more research, right? CrowdStrike is cutting 5% of their workforce, 500 people. Many of these folks are immigrants and visa workers. I'm posting this before. Possibly a visa worker or government CrowdStrike worker who's here on a visa expired and then not renewing it or whatever the case is, or someone who potentially is working in CrowdStrike and saying, hey, I have a feeling I'm going to get let go. I might as well make the most of it, right? So that would probably make sense to me as to why someone or anyone would want to go this route, right? You already foresee that something is going to happen to you. You might as well just be as shady as possible and do the worst that you can and make the most of it, right? But unfortunately, this person got caught. Don't know if he actually got the money. Probably did, since he released it, if it does exist, this $25,000. But CrowdStrike said there was no threat. There was no harm. They say that every single time, though, even with their last incident, right? This is nothing major. They try to downplay it as much as they can, because as soon as they get to the public and the social media and all the other platforms, they just have to play it off really calm and selective and cool and say, hey, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. You guys are just exaggerating. But meanwhile, the whole world was shut down. So I can only imagine how bad this really is, not to CrowdStrike possibly, but for everyone else that may have been affected. CrowdStrike, again, offers a product and a tool for a lot of organizations. So being within CrowdStrike and having access to those type of information can be very, very sensitive. How the assets, what type of assets, what versions, and things like that, because that exposes a whole boatload of vulnerabilities. Like if CrowdStrike agents can see within your server environment or workstation environment, and they know you're outdated and you're not patched up to date, you're asking for a lot of trouble. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Of course, this is a cybersecurity channel, and please remember to hit that like, comment, subscribe, and inspect more videos as news develop if this becomes bigger news. I feel like this is huge news because CrowdStrike is not the only problem here. There's going to be a lot of people who have access to a lot of sensitive information across a lot of cybersecurity tools, and these things you can't really prevent unless you start having regulations like you can't have cell phones near your screen. That's the only real way. Or the technology I was talking about, a monitor that detects a camera facing it and just blacks out every time you try to take a picture. They do that with screen captures. I have experienced that. If you try to do screen captures, there is technology out there that blacks out when you try to screen capture or screen record with other software, third-party software on top of it, and everything just becomes blacked out and no audio, nothing. All right. So just wanted to share that with you guys. Hopefully this was entertaining. And of course, I'll see you guys again really soon. Take care.